Crystal, take it away.
Yeah,
this is about
so
Candace
this is
Owens and Ben
interesting.
Shapiro.
So you guys will recall Candace Owens fired from Daily Wire over, I mean, she had voiced legitimately, I would say, anti-Semitic things, but the thing that really got her fired was when she was consistently critical of the Israeli government. After she's fired, I don't know if you guys follow this, there was a whole back and forth between her and Jeremy Boring and Shapiro about like, all right, let's debate, right? And there was some negotiation about when and how and whatever. And it seemed like there was an agreement about timing and, you know, structure and no moderation and all this stuff. But the debate never happened. So people have been going, well, what the hell happened here? Why didn't this debate happen? Well, Glenn Greenwald got the scoop. Apparently, the Daily Wire, while they were publicly pretending like they wanted to do this debate with Candace, they were privately using a private arbitrator to issue a gag order against her so that she can't say anything. And by the way, and so that's the real reason the debate hasn't happened, is because they issued a gag order against her. And by the way, in obtaining this gag order, the things that they cited as her, they said, okay, she had a non-disparagement agreement. She violated that. And what they used as evidence of her violating it was that she had publicly asked for a debate. And then she had liked some tweets that were critical of the Daily Wire. That was their case.
That's enough to get a gag order?
How she had disparaged them, and yes, that they used in order to get a gag order.
That can legally allow you to get a gag order.
Apparently.
Okay, so my first thought is that, remember the fight between Ben Shapiro and Steven Crowder?
Yes.
Where Steven Crowder was going around,
yeah.
They only offered me $50 million. Yeah. This is slavery.
Yeah.
Everybody in the world who's reasonable looked at that and was like, Steven Crowder's a fucking idiot. And the Daily Wire was under. I actually liked the way they handled that. Jeremy Boring, the CEO of Daily Wire, came out and he literally showed line by line the contract that was offered to Steven Crowder. And he was like, look, even if he doesn't like it, this was an opening offer. He had, he could have, counter-offered and we'd be having the conversation. Instead, he decided to go nuclear on us and call us sellouts and things of that nature, right?
Right.
What the Daily Wire did here is such a fucking Steven Crowder-esque move. Steven Crowder has been gagging not gay Jared, who, by the way, I'm sure is very not gay. Because his name is not gay Jared.
That tells you everything you need to know.
So he's been gagging... that sounds sexual. He's been gagging him with his balls and his cock. This segment's going off the rails. And he's gagged a lot of his other employees as well with his dick and balls. Still off the rails. All right, I'm going to try to get the train back on the tracks here. But, like, the whole... Steven Crowder is like a petty authoritarian in the workplace. That's what he is. Yeah. On top of being a sexual assaulter and teabagging people and all sorts of... That guy's got serious problems, man. He's got serious psychosexual problems.
It seems
That's
like
obvious.
Yeah.
But that's what this is. Like, okay, look, I would actually understand the perspective of Ben Shapiro and the Daily Wire if they were just like... Look, I don't take Candace Owens seriously. I actually think it was a mistake to hire her. I think she's a joke of a commentator. I don't think she has any idea what the fuck she's talking about fucking anything. I think she's a grifter. I think she picked a lane. If they said all that and then said, that's why we're not going to debate her, I don't take her seriously, I'd be like, look, I understand people disagreeing with that, but it's a fair position. Fine. Fair enough, right?
Right.
But that's not what they're doing. They're pretending like we're going to debate her. And then they're doing a gag order, and they're like, we're never going to debate you.
So weaselly.
It's so fucking weaselly. It's so weaselly.
Especially since Ben Shapiro is, he's such a, like, free speech and ideas and debate me or whatever. I mean, he wrote a whole book about, like, what was his book? Destroying Liberals with Facts and Logic or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, he had some dumb book about, like, how to win every argument or something. And he sells mugs that say, like, liberal tears on it. And it's like, stop pretending like you're the guy.
Tough guy.
I'm in favor of reasonable discourse. Like, no, your whole thing is I'm going to own the other side no matter fucking what, even if I got to lie and use Weasley tactics.
It's really something when you're putting me in the corner of defending Candace Owens. But
I know,
there's just, like, no doubt here that this is such skeezy, like, Weasley underhanded behavior to publicly be out there positive. Of course, we will name a time. We'll be there. We want to have this debate. And then behind the scenes, you're like,
Judge,
please help me. Make sure she can never say anything about us.
Please.
She's so mean.
Please help me.
Do you see this? She publicly asked us for a debate. How could she? This is disparagement. Unbelievable.
And
it's so embarrassing for them.
In an Israel debate, Ben Shapiro is super well versed on the Israeli Hasbara.
Oh, yeah.
And he would crush Candace Owens.
He'd be difficult.
He would crush her.
Difficult.
No, I think he would crush her.
You think so?
Yes. I mean, he's wrong about all of it, but he knows enough stuff, and he knows the Israeli Hasbara playbook where he has an answer for everything. You're not going to
catch him off guard.
You're not going to catch him off guard. He knows every single fucking dumb response, but he sells it well, right? And I think he'd crush Candace. And instead of doing that, he's doing this.
So here's what Glenn writes in his piece. He says, while the company claimed before the arbitrator that it did not object in principle to a, quote, healthy debate, it urged the imposition of a gag order on Owens by claiming that the way she requested the debate constituted disparagement of Shapiro and the site. To justify the gag order, it wanted the company also cited various criticisms of the Daily Wire and Shapiro on X that Owens had liked. That was it. At least according to Glenn, that was it.
So
that was
petty.
her disparagement.
And remember, you pointed this out, but remember when Candace Owens made the argument that, like, look, if Hitler was just trying to make Germany great again, that'd be one thing. The problem is he was a globalist and he went beyond his borders. It's like, that's not really the main problem with Hitler.
Right. Well, and he hired her after that. That was the problem.
Yeah, that's my point.
Yeah.
But then when it crossed the line, Kate defended her even when she was doing the whole Kanye defense. When he was like, I'm going to go DEFCON 3 on the Jews or whatever it was.
Right.
And she was even still defending him when he did his pro-Hitler meltdown, saying, I love Hitler.
That's right.
And there was no consequences. Again, the time where there were consequences was when, after October 7th, right? When, and there, all of a sudden, a month in or whatever, there's a lot of criticism of the Israeli government. She echoed some of them, and then it's like, gone.
You actually, I mean, you see this kind of commonly on the right, where like actual like aggressive neo-Nazism and whatever, or like Kanye or Candace's comments, etc. That's fine. Just don't criticize the state of Israel.
Yeah.
That's the hard line.
That marriage, by the way,
cross.
That marriage is ethno-staters loving ethno-staters.
Yeah.
That's why there's a little bit of a,
Yeah. There were
don't fight each other mentality with the white supremacists and the Zionists.
Yeah, as an example, there were neo-Nazis marching in Charleston, West Virginia that they were fine with, but oh my God, on college campuses, they don't like the war. We've got to completely destroy free speech and send in a fucking 1,000 NYPD cops and crack their skulls and whatever. They're practically terrorists. But actual neo-Nazis marching, no, we're good with that. That's fine.